Aloha, this is Santa Surfing. Welcome to Beach Broadcast. Today is Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. Guys, I'm just going to warn you, I'm probably going to cry through this podcast because of joy, and there's just so much that's going on the good side, so it's so fantastic to see. We had a really great live yesterday on santasurfing.locals.com. We had a couple of new individuals that joined that actually came into the chat. Usually you join and you listen to the chat, but you actually came in and you were chatting with us, and it was awesome, awesome, awesome. So thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for joining me on x.com. Oh my gosh, I do want to just dive right in because there's so much that's going on right now, and it's so glorious. This is a worldwide revolution, and Trump did say in August, late August, that military can go anywhere in less than 24 hours. So these are pictures of what happened in Nepal. This is what was the photo of what is happening right now in France. And then this is I'll show this at the very end. This is what had me in tears. We, the people, everywhere around the world. Now, what I love about being on YouTube is I could see the different nations and countries that are listening to this show. I have just been introduced to a couple of features on YouTube, and so I'm working on that where it can translate my podcast into certain languages, not all languages, but certain languages, which will be fantastic. So give me time to figure it all out here. But we, the people, everywhere around the world, we're witnessing a worldwide revolution. And by the way, I have well over 30 countries that listen to this podcast, and I want to say thank you very much. Nepal Prime Minister, he resigned yesterday after the people made their voices heard. France demands Emmanuel Macron to resign. The people of France and the UK and all around the world, which I'll cover, will have their voices heard. America is fighting for the good, and the Democrats, they want the evilness. And this is kind of interesting because this is a Delta for today. And the president of El Salvador is the country where President Trump has worked out a deal to send criminal thugs to Sikot, their prison camp, where they have to work in order to be a part of it. They don't have like TV time. They actually go and work in manufacturing plants in El Salvador. But this Delta which is for today, buckle up, buttercups. It's about to get bumpy. What Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, he posted, buckle up, buttercup. So it's kind of big. I'll just kind of give a little highlights on certain countries, and then I'm going to share kind of a compilation of what's been going on and what's happening. But this is what Elon posted on September 8th. Shame on Simon Harris for tyrannically blocking the will of the people of Ireland. Conor McGregor for president to save Ireland. Conor McGregor was also invited to the White House, spoke at one of the press briefings with Caroline Leavitt, and he is loved by the people, but they're trying to block him. Doesn't that sound familiar? Isn't that what they were trying to do with President Trump by keeping him in trials and courts with frivolous lawsuits, all of those other things? And they were trying anything they could. In 2020, it was the COVID scam. And then in 2024, it was trying to keep him in trial, trying to get him arrested, all these just horrible things that they were doing. Other countries are doing the same thing. And so this is what they're doing. They're petrified Conor would win. Simon Harris demands all Fine Gael councillors block independent presidential candidate nominations. Again, they're changing the rules as they go along. And a new poll by the Irish newspaper, The Liberal, it's called The Liberal, suggests, and this is coming from McGregor News, suggests that Conor McGregor is on course to win Ireland's presidential election in a landslide. Okay, so almost 60% of respondents said that they plan to vote for him in the next month's election. This would be a huge change for Ireland. So that's what's going on in Ireland. Now, the protests in Nepal and now in France are because the people of Nepal, the people of now France, what's going on today, the governments have failed the people. Nepal and France, the people are sticking together. And conversely, here in America, the war in America are the unhinged liberal TDSers resisting a Trump government. President Trump is protecting the American people, protecting the rights of the American people, bringing back our Constitution. And these TDSers, they're protecting the criminals and the illegals. I'm going to just show you a kind of a compilation clip of things that happened. This is from the LA riots and how they're protecting the illegal aliens. It's like, come on. Then they have free DC. From what? From you want more crime in DC? That the liberals are, I don't know. I think they just got one too many booster shots. So in Los Angeles, this is a clip of This is okay. These are people that are from America holding a Mexican flag, beating up an American. All right. And this is what we're not seeing when the riots are going on. This thug right here, he ended up getting arrested. He was throwing rocks and stones at the ICE. And then this is when they're beating up the police. Now, this is the police. This is under President Trump's control. So he is not using the police against the people. It wasn't a peaceful protest. It was domestic terrorism. Nepal on the 8th, which is just 2 days ago, they were going out and protesting because the government failed them. The elites at their government they were flaunting their rich and luxurious lifestyle while the people were suffering, right? So that's kind of the difference, is that you got the people in Nepal that are standing together, where you've got the people in America, you've got the TDSers that are just so unhinged. And it's going to even get a little bit more rockier with President Trump rolling out his National Guard and ICE through other liberal cities. What happened in Nepal? Well, the people got tired. This is a 4-term prime minister who has been flaunting his wealth. All the different ministers at Parliament were flaunting their wealth while the people were living in complete poverty. Again, these are horrible crimes against humanity, and they don't care about what's going on with the people. So they got tired of it. The government banned their social media, so they weren't able to go ahead and share so the people got banned from posting from social media. So they got banned from X, Facebook, and I believe it's either TikTok or Instagram, and they couldn't do anything. Now, some people, they do that for a living so that they can provide. It might be a Gen Zer that provides for his entire family, and they were banned from that. And is it because they didn't want the world to know what's really going on in their own country? Well, the people had enough. They burned a media building. Again, our media here in America is horrible. They don't inform people of what is really going on. They indoctrinate people to what they want you to believe. The Parliament building that was built in 1903 was burned down. This is a daytime version of the Parliament building burning down. The people were burning down the homes of the different political ministers from Parliament, and they went home to home. The government's police, they were doing what they needed to do in order to try to protect their dirty government. They chased down the finance minister, and they were going after him. He's this guy right over here, and he gets kicked up against the wall. They get a hold of him. They strip him down. They put this mask on top of him. They tossed him in some water, whether it's a river or a lake. They tossed him in there with that mask on. The people in Nepal, and predominantly the Gen Zers, they were banding together to fight for all of this tyrannical government, and the government decides that they go ahead and ban their social media. Then some of the ministers in government, they were able to flee. But look how they were able to flee. I'm going to zoom in on this. They were holding on to a rope on a helicopter to get the heck out of there. But look what one of the ministers, who he left behind. He left behind his disabled, paralyzed wife, and it was the people, the people, the youths. They rescued this wife from. She was just left. So their government is toppled. Now, what you're thinking? What happens next? The prime minister ended up resigning, and he fled. This is what the streets of Nepal looked like the day after, which is today. This is the revolution, guys. Nepal's prime minister, he resigns, and the people are celebrating. They're jubilant. They're happy. This is what the world needed to see. We didn't know this was going on, and all this kind of crime against humanity that was happening in impoverished countries. And this also happened to the youths in Nepal celebrated the army for defending them from being attacked by the police. I'll get into more of that because this is where the military came in to help them, defending them from their tyrannical government police. And this is happening today on the 10th of September that the Gen Zers, they are now engaged in cleaning up Kathmandu. I just found this page, the Brit Lad, and I followed it because it's got some really interesting stuff. But the Western world sits on the edge. A worldwide revolution is inevitable. So these are clips of Ireland, Germany, France, Poland, Britain, Australia, Spain, Austria. There is so many more. Sweden. So I'll get to that in just a moment because it's really, really big what's going on. So we have now the Great Awakening, and it is absolutely worldwide. The people are learning the truth, right? Nepal government, they collapsed. And yesterday I showed clips of what happened to them. Their parliament also got burned. Their big media building got burned down. The prime and finance ministers were chased out of the parliament, and the finance minister, he got beaten and he got his clothes stripped, and then he ended up they put a dog mask over him, and they literally drug him through the streets and threw him in a waterway where he had to walk. And I guess they made him do things that, they were upset because the government has failed them. The France government's collapsing. The people are calling for Macron's resignation. Macron fears walking down today officially is the day that France is revolting. They want President Emmanuel Macron to resign.
C'est bien ça. Je sais pas où il trouve ça.
This movement is called the Block Everything movement in France. They are blocking the freeways, the highways with just putting a fire out there. The people in France, they've had enough. Back in 2017, 2018, they had their Yellow Vest movement that started in the winter of 2017, ran all the way through almost the end of 2018, and they were fighting because of Macron. They didn't like his policies, his high taxes, and he did nothing for the we the people. And here they are again in 2025. And the police, part of the government, out there doing what they're doing. See the big difference here, as we just showed in the video earlier. President Trump has ICE and law enforcement out there to get rid of illegals, to get rid of all of that, to have America come back to being America. Here you've got the police that's been instructed by their government to go ahead and fight we the people because the people are tired of the dirty government. Bella Star Angel, Susan Clark, 95677 on X, posted this. Keir Starmer from the UK requires 100 police officers just to exit Parliament every time by car. I just got this. I'm kind of going back and forth because there's new news coming out. This right here is France erupts as Macron appoints his 5th prime minister in 2 years. The Block Everything movement, which is going on right now in France, has shut down roads, services, and cities. 80,000 riot police deployed. Macron now weighing social media censorship to stop the uprising. And then also, remember when we had the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl had big signs of what was going on, game over, right? And then February 17th, which was, to be blunt, game over. That was a February 17th. But here, when you spot another person who is awake and aware, so we are seeing a lot of the Great Awakening happening. But this one was really big. Q Patriot Voice, really good patriot, strong fighting patriot, posted this. This is a post by President Trump, and it was posted at 8:44 Eastern Time. The animal who so violently killed the beautiful young lady from Ukraine who came to America searching for peace and safety should be given a there is no doubt, quick trial, guys, and only awarded the death penalty. There can be no other option, President Donald J. Trump. And if you connect the 8:44, it's boom, 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 boom. There's the original post on Truth, and it's at 8:44. Remember, Q had warned us back in January 30th, 31st of 2020, that what happens when people learn the truth, what happens when people wake up, they will not be able to walk down the street, the Great Awakening. And we are seeing it right now, guys. So once the brainwashing and censorship ends, the people, especially in America, will stand united as one and support the good and good people working so hard to make our lives more beautiful. They will stand together. Right now, they got so much rage and hate, and there's still going to be that 4 to 6% that's still going to be lost forever. President Melania Trump, they are the modern day royal leaders. Okay, they have to work in stealth mode. They're under the radar. They don't wear fancy tiaras or crowns. They hold the aces for what's about to come. President Trump, he fought so hard to get back in office, and he got the help for people that supported him. You were fighting online and sharing the truth with us here in America, those of you that live in other countries, and I want to say thank you. You were helping to enlighten the people about what President Trump was all about and how dirty the cabal is, right, or was. America fought so hard to get him back in office, and so the entire world would benefit, and the people around the world knew that. If you want to click on here, this is a thread on Melania's role and essentially her being part of the royal family. But President Melania Trump, their inaugural ball, they had a lot of comms, a lot of messages, the sword dancing. I mean, come on. She was wearing a dress comms. She had her dark blue hats. So again, they are not your typical royal leaders flaunting. They go out there with coloring books and color with children out in the White House lawn. They welcome the working class. They embrace the children and protect the children. And they also are fighting to save humanity, right? Around the world. So as we watch this worldwide revolution, what is the common factor that the elites want more of? They want money, right? And with money, that's their power, right? What President Trump is doing is that he will end the funding for the power by dismantling the current financial system, which was all created by the dirty cabal elites, Federal Reserve, the Rothschilds, all of the Soros, all of those dirty people, right? This ends their flow. So with President Trump changing the whole system. Now remember, back in 2017, President Trump didn't have Space Force. Now he's got Space Force going at full force, yeah? So he can use the stable coin method of the financial system to monitor what's going on with the money and where it's going, yeah? Using that system, it totally dismantles everything. This also ends the flow of U.S. taxpayer funds going to these nations. Remember when President Trump was talking about what U.S. aid was paying for? These ridiculous things for these countries that we've never even heard of, or other countries that we have heard of, and they're paying for propaganda and woke agenda and all of that. We didn't sign up for that. We didn't pay taxes because of that. So President Trump, he is putting literally the kibosh on all of that. His trade and tariff deals, and this is why the liberals and the left and the dirty judges are blocking it, his trade and tariff deals are a lot more than what meets the eye, guys. So again, because he doesn't say these are tariff deals, he calls them trade and tariff deals. Are they trading? What are they saying? Okay, I'll give you this evidence and you give me this. Maybe they said, okay, I'll give you everything that you want, President Trump, but what I want to do is when I exit the scene, because I know I'm a dirty cabal person, can you just make it so it doesn't look so bad? Okay, might be some things like that, right? But did he get the nations around the world coming to the White House, him going to their countries to sign off on Nasara and Jassara, yeah? The Great Awakening movement isn't about taking down the bad guys. It's more about we, the people, rising up and standing together. There may be a day when the liberals will apologize to MAGA. Boy, I'll probably see cows flying when that happens. But they might apologize to MAGA because they then will realize MAGA wasn't trying to be right. We were just trying to help enlighten them. We were trying to help save their life. Don't take the vax. Be aware of this. Be aware of that, right? They may realize that they have been resisting something very, very good. And as you've just seen with the clips about what's going on in those different countries, the clips of what's going on in Nepal, what happened there and what's happened in France, again, what is the world preparing for? President Trump, he is prepared for his next battle. Many people, they're going to learn that the truth is coming out in all different fronts. He has deployed and armed the National Guard here in America. But recently, just 2 days ago, SCOTUS ruled that ICE can go ahead and raid Los Angeles. And many of the reporters were also talking about, no, those are local reporters, are saying this will have a nationwide effect. And they can arrest and deport. And then remember, President Trump, he's already prepared our military to be available worldwide with less than 24 hours notice. He's already released that JAG, which are military attorneys. They can prosecute civilians for misdemeanors, and that's in D.C. And then he's already signed an executive order on no cashless bail. He's getting ready for what is to come, guys. President Trump, he's ready for war, and it's not for war to fight. He's ready for war to protect you. President Trump, he's fighting for the people. He made an announcement about the military can go anywhere. I just ask that all these countries that have different kinds of you've got different kinds of revolutions ready, right? So that you can fight for your rights happening all around the world. I want to have you listen to this clip. It's going to all make sense. He said this on August 25th.
We're ready to go anywhere. We have a full complement of great human beings. We're full. You know, our military is full. We were way empty 1 year ago. Now we're full. So we can go anywhere on less than 24 hours notice. 1 year ago. Now we're full. So we can go anywhere on less than 24 hours notice.
Yes, guys. Now, I don't know about you, but when I saw this world news coming out this week, I was just in tears because we have been fighting hard for the children initially. The children all around the world. And who in the government? Yes. We have to get our war face on because this is now, remember, President Trump, he changed the Department of Defense name to the Department of War, reverted back to the Department of War for a reason. It's not just going to be around the globe. It's going to be here. We've already seen it happen here in America. The resisting of, they fought for the bumblehead Biden and all the bad things he did. And then all of a sudden, President Trump comes in, the knight in shining armor, and they're fighting and resisting him, and he's doing nothing but good, right? A Q Delta coming up on the 17th of September. Let me see your war face. So President Trump made it very clear he can go anywhere on less than 24 hours notice. So what happened today? Again, you saw the clips just a few minutes ago about what's going on, what happened in Nepal, what happened in France, the army intervention to protect the people. And this is what had me in tears. Check this out. And this is posted by the Kenyan vigilante. The youths in Nepal celebrated the army for defending them from being attacked by the police. Check this out. I might be splitting hairs, but below is the photo of the Nepal army, the military, and what their uniforms look like. And above here, where the people are celebrating, that looks like the U.S. military uniform. But either way, the military is the only way. They're going out there to save the people, to help the people, yeah? Acknowledge Me on X posted, Japan's protest mass migration forced Japan's prime minister to resign. That was on August 31st, just a few days ago. They're fighting the migration of all of their illegals, if you will, if you call them. They cannot. They've had the Islam people coming in there and just taking over their countries. Poland is rising up. The Patriots have made it very clear they are rising up. We had the EU, the Polish prime minister. He tore down the EU flag, and he said, we are not he just wants no association with the EU. Vienna is rising up. They don't want the fake asylum seekers. Nobody wants them in Europe. Lewis Jones posted, watch Australia September 13th. The UK is September 13th as well. 40 different cities around the UK are going to be out there in protest. This is posted by Leona F. Judah, posted the lyrics to Les Mis. Do you hear the people singing the songs of angry men, the music of the people who will not be slaves again? When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, there's a life about to start when tomorrow comes. Guys, this is just all of a sudden happening, and this is, your fight is worth it. But now we got to get their backs. If you see the global patriots, and they're fighting, and they might get some resistance. So let's just help them out online with the information, just giving them backing support, because they did it to us, right? And August 31st, Delta has the American flag. United we stand, where we go on we go, all we the people, from sea to shining sea. Let freedom ring, patriots, it's your time. If America falls, the world falls. United we stand, God bless you all, Q+. I'm going to get to that one in a minute. President Trump made an announcement about law and order, and he has a very strong message, very, very strong message. I'm going to have you listen to this. Check this out.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities that set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people, really very, very innocent people. In every place, they control radical left judges, politicians, and activists, and they've adopted a policy of catch and release for thugs and killers. In Charlotte, North Carolina, we saw the results of these policies when a 23-year-old woman who came here from Ukraine met her bloody end on a public train. And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that never had problems in life, with a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country. We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand. 24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors. 50 people were murdered in Chicago in recent weeks, with hundreds being shot. And it's time to stop this madness. The people of our country need to insist on protection, safety, law, and order. We have proven that it can be done because we did it right here in D.C., in District of Columbia. The capital of America was a bloodthirsty, horrible, dangerous place, one of the worst. And now it's a crime-free city, and we're going to keep it that way. It can be done. It can happen fast. All we want is, please, Mr. President, we need help. Chicago needs help. Other cities need help. We'll do what has to be done because we're going to make America safe again, and that includes our big cities. We're going to make those cities safe.
And then President Trump, through his El Donato account, posted this. He posted the clip of him holding the photo of the beautiful young lady who ended up getting stabbed by this horrific person he's committed 14 crimes, was let out, and for free. I mean, he's out in the, being a free person, and then he ends up stabbing her, and he writes death penalty to animals. So he's getting ready, guys, for what's going to happen. What does this mean for the world? President Trump, he's had worldwide authority for years. The nations did submit to Trump. President Trump, he's ready to show the world that his military will save the world. An example of his strength, just giving you an example, is sending and posting a message like this. Everyone wants the hostages home. Everyone wants this war to end. The Israelis have accepted my terms. It is time for Hamas to accept as well. I have warned Hamas about the consequences of not accepting. This is my last warning. There will not be another one. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. That was posted on September 7th, 2025. Tells you he has posted messages like this: make the tariff deal happen. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He is making it very clear he is in control of all of the world nations. I was looking for if America falls, the world falls, any kind of post from Q, and this one here, 1350. If America falls, the world falls. God bless our brave fighting men and women. They deserve our deepest gratitude. Through their strength and the millions of united patriots around the world, we will succeed in this fight. Peace through strength, now comes the pain. There's so many foreign nations that just hope and dream of having President Trump lead their nations. Just hang tight. We know it's coming. President Trump is trying to send subtle hints over and over again. This one was a recent one that was posted by President Ildonato. And there's a reason why he posts hints like this. He says he posted a picture of Baron Trump, and he says he wants more arrests. Patience, young prince. There's other posts that he had about King and Queen. I don't see him anymore, so he may have deleted them. My mom used to sing this song to me all the time, that he's got the whole world in his hands. And she always reminded me that God didn't create us so that we would fight amongst each other, that we would have so much anger and frustration and suffering. He created this world so that we would flourish. But we now are going through this. It just seems like we're walking around. We're getting really close to the promised land. And now we're getting so close. And we know we have to go through this next battle, because we're at the 1 yard line. And that we're at the 1 yard line. To me, it seems like it's fourth down, tie score. We're holding the ball and we're ready to go into the finish line. And together we'll be able to get through this. Godspeed, and God be with you all. And just again, if you're suffering with anything, just bow your head, take it to God, and let him bless you with an answer. It may not be the answer you think, but he's got the best answer. So please just take everything to God. God be with all of you, bless you abundantly, and I will have a show soon. Aloha.